Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jacob with Ignite Fire. I want to thank you guys for watching today's video and podcast. If you haven't done it yet, do it now. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification down below so you know when the next video drops. So I'm here in the great country of Ecuador, and we are in Cuenca. This is one of the most beautiful cities here, and I'm sitting with Robbie Capaldi, who we have done some ministry together. He is an amazing young man, a man of God, and we have a story to share. And one of the stories that we're going to be sharing is something that happened last year on one of my trips here, visiting them to do ministry. And so, Robbie, let's share a little bit about yourself. So tell us about you.
Hey, so I'm Robbie. I live here in Cuenca. I was born in Canada. I went to mission trips with my family for 4 years in Italy, and we just came back a couple of years ago.
And so we're going to do another podcast also with his dad later on, as we are here in Ecuador, and he's going to share a little bit about himself. So you've pretty much been a missionary since you were born.
Since I was born, basically.
So you're thrown into the fire. And
right into it.
So one of the cool things is Robbie's been translating for us into Spanish. I know I'm Hispanic and I should know Spanish, but I don't. So forgive me on that. I'm learning. But we were at a restaurant, and I share this all the time when I am ministering on the gifts of the Spirit. But there's a gift of the Spirit called the Word of Knowledge. And Robbie and I had an experience together where we were with a bunch of pastors before doing an open air meeting, and we were sitting down at a restaurant, and I had a question for the waitress who only spoke Spanish. And I asked Robbie, I said, hey, do you want to do some ministry with me? And your response was?
I mean, okay, I guess. I mean, I was kind of awkward. I don't know. Like,
and this was the first time someone had asked you something like that.
That was the
right?
first time I was like, I don't know, we're like in a restaurant. I was not prepared at all, but.
And so I asked him, I said, can you ask the waitress if she has someone in her family that's doing witchcraft? And Robbie asked, and
so I was like, okay, I guess. And the waitress comes, and I ask her, do you know anyone that might do witchcraft? And she was so stunned and like kind of mad that we asked her something like that. And she really didn't say anything at first because, you know, she was pretty mad. But after I think we prayed for the meal and stuff like that, she kind of warmed up to us and said, you know what? Yeah, my ex-husband actually does a bunch of witchcraft and spells and stuff like that against me. So. And
she came and got us afterwards. She was like, we need to talk.
Yeah, we need to talk. Yeah.
And so when that moment happened, as soon as she said that, I said, I believe that God wants us to pray for you. God wants us to break the chains of witchcraft off of you. And we began to pray, and Robbie translated. And as we walked out, we knew that God had did something special. Amazing, actually. And just out of nowhere, random. So things like that happen. And if you're wondering what the heck is the word of knowledge, it's just something that supernaturally comes, a word about somebody that you wouldn't have known other than God sharing that with you. And so I know that was special for you too.
That was so special for me.
And I was just stepping out for the first time actually in my ministry. Oh, that was in 2020? No, it was last year.
2021.
Yeah, 2021. So if you're watching and you're new to that, I would say just step out in faith. You never know whose life you can change, and it really changes the friends and the family that you're actually doing ministry with when they see God working through you just by taking a step out in faith. So Robbie, I want to thank you for being on today's podcast and sharing and giving people the face to the person that I'm always talking about that helped me do some ministry. And for those who don't know the story that I talk about with the waitress, I call it the waitress and the witchcraft. So it's really an awesome story of transformation in the word of knowledge. So thank you guys for watching. And like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and you will see the next video when it drops. God bless, guys.
See ya.